Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, John Harcar. I'm here today with Keith Gillespie, and what we're going to talk about today is how to build and create a real estate business that runs on autopilot. You know, guys, here at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, real estate entrepreneurs, and service providers 2 to 5x their business. And we do that by giving resources and tools that help folks build the business they want to build and live the life they want to live. Keith, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. What an honor.
Yeah, man.
Really appreciate it, John.
No, you're very welcome. I'm glad to have you. I'm excited about the autopilot thing. I mean, you ask anybody, everybody would want to do less and get more. I mean, but before we get into all that, because I know we have a lot to cover, tell us a little bit about yourself, right? Tell us about who you are and, you know, overall what got you here.
Cool. Well, I would say that everyone asks, how did you get started in real estate? And like 99% of people, I've read the Purple Bible, read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And it came at really good timing. And the reason for that is because we had just found out that we were pregnant. Me and my wife been married for a couple of years.
Congratulations.
And we found out that we were going to be pregnant, and I had been working on my credit, and I was going to buy us a house. And instead of buying a house, I decided to leverage all of that credit to start a real estate investing company.
Interesting.
And the main reason for that is because I actually didn't know that we were pregnant. At the time, I was active duty in the Marine Corps, and I was overseas. Absolutely. Thank you. So I was overseas, and my wife kept it a secret. She wanted to tell me in person. And so we would talk, when we could, and she never told me that she was pregnant. It wasn't until literally I get home, sea bags in hand,
Coming off
open
the plane,
the door.
the picture they always see about everybody coming off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hey, surprise, we're pregnant. My wife even recorded it. It's up on YouTube if anybody wants to watch it.
That's awesome.
Baby number one, total surprise. Had no idea. It's called Surprise, You're a Daddy. And then, about a year and a half later, I found out a second time coming home from another trip. Surprise.
Wow.
You're a daddy
2
number
times.
2. And so on both times, my wife was pregnant, and I didn't know because I wasn't in the country.
Yeah.
And for the next 2 years, my wife actually had to reintroduce me to my children on multiple occasions because I was gone so much that they didn't even recognize their own father.
Wow.
And so that was my start, was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. And it was really important to me because I wasn't raised by my dad. And the reason for that was because he passed away when I was young. And the thing is I'm doing the same thing to my kids, except I don't have the excuse of being dead. Like I am choosing to not be in their life in the beginning, in the early years, which is the most important years to rear your children, And so I made the decision that I was going to get out of the Marine Corps. I stayed in for another enlistment, after even more than one enlistment after that, and continued to build the business until it was successful enough for me to leave the old W-2.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And be doing this full time.
So let's talk about that. So you're still in the military and you started doing real estate.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you just doing wholesale? What were you doing?
Yeah. At the time, our only exit strategy was wholesaling. We did do my very first deal was a flip. And at the time I was stationed in Washington, D.C. or near it in Stafford, Virginia. And it's a big thing in D.C. and in Maryland to do what's called pop the top, where you find a little 3-bedroom, 1-bath house and you just add the same exact square footage on top of it, drastically increase your ARV. Well, that's what I was going to do on my very first deal. In hindsight, probably not the smartest move, and especially not knowing anybody and being mentored by anybody. I'm going to figure this out, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, there's this thing called the soil density test that you have to do to make sure the house doesn't collapse, and I didn't pass it. Anyway, I learned, did I learn this thing was supposed to be a huge 6-figure profit, and
School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I literally made $2,000 on that deal, and I said, golly, if I'm going to screw up that bad, we're just going to go wholesale houses.
Yeah.
And so first deal was a full renovation. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll remember it for forever and ever. We over-rehabbed the house. It was gorgeous. And then for the next 4.5 years, roughly, we just exclusively wholesaled so that I didn't have to deal with raising private money and the scope of work, change orders with the contractors and everything like that. It was simpler to wholesale.
Got it. Okay. So in this time of building your business, what happened? Like, where was that shift to say, I need to start a CRM, because you are the owner and creator of REI Automation, correct?
Yeah, Automated. Okay. Automation is somebody else.
Sorry, Automated.
Yeah. I think REI Automation is a company also by a former Marine. But REI Automated, yeah. So in what year? 2021. So I started real estate in 2016, and really REI Automated, although on the books, it was created in 2021, it actually started 3.5 years prior to that. And the reason for that is because I just created it for me. It was never meant to be for anybody else. It was truly never intended to be a product sold outside of my own walls. It was just my own solution to my own problem. And my own problem was this. I started in Virginia, but then my second duty station, I was in Hawaii. So geographically, there's two things that are unique about Hawaii. Number one, it's a tiny island, and I love Hawaii. It holds a very dear place in my heart. However, it is difficult for somebody who is young, white, and in the military to buy houses from local Hawaiians. It's not very common. And so I struggled with that. And then the second reason was because geographically, it's 3 hours to Pacific Standard Time and 6 hours to Eastern Standard Time. And so when I was having troubles locally purchasing properties, I would get kicked out of people's houses, more than 100 times. I would show up to somebody's house and they love me on the phone. I can speak Pidgin. They really enjoy talking to me on the phone, but then I show up at their house, give them an offer, and they're like, how old are you? At the time I'm 20 years old, 22 years old, and I'm here to, clean shaven, baby face, in the Marine Corps. And they're like, how old are you? Like, this is some sort of scam. And I'm there to give them a cash offer, $750,000. And they're like, $750,000? Who are you? Get out of my house. And so I got kicked out of a lot of people's houses. Made the decision to do it virtually. And so now I'm investing continental United States. And then the next problem that I have is I'm already waking up at like 5 a.m. in order to be at work.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
To leave for work at 5:30, be at work by 6:30. We have PT and physical training and stuff before work even starts. So in order for me to get in a little bit of time calling, I don't have to wake up at 5. Now I'm waking up at 4 or even 3:30 or 3. Golly, I am a mean person at 3 o'clock. Like, it's just not sustainable for me.
Is anybody a happy person at 3
right?
o'clock?
It's just, it's terrible. And so, but that's the only option if I want to call prior to work. Now, after work, I'm getting home. I would typically get off maybe 5:30 to 6:30, but let's just call it 6. Well, I'm getting home 30 minutes later. And that's 6:30. Well, that's 9:30 on the West Coast, and that's 12:30 a.m. after midnight on the East Coast.
Way
Try calling
past
somebody.
hours to reach out.
Yeah, you're not going to buy a house. You're just going to get cussed out. And so the only time that I could feasibly make calls wasn't before work or wasn't after work. And I wasn't allowed to have my phone on me during work. But there's one magical moment in time that the government can't tell me what to do. And that's during my chow, during my lunch break.
Yep.
And I needed to build this business. I had already, mind you, made the decision to get out of the Corps. But I needed to build this business enough so that my outputs, my results, was more than my nice, cushy job with basic allowance for housing, basic allowance for sustenance, basic pay, all of this. I needed to be able to replace that and some for me to feel comfortable. And I only had 1 hour. So that's really my story for more than 4 years of I'm trying to build a successful business with 1 hour of inputs that yields 8 hours of outputs so that I can escape my.
So what did you do?
That's the birth of REI Automated. Was I just need this 1 hour to be, number one, as effective as possible, number two, as efficient as possible, and number three, as automated as possible. And so I started building out mind maps, and it started with like basic stuff like follow-up sequences, and then got a little bit more ingrained of initial text messaging. When somebody fills out a form, it starts engaging this person in a conversation, so that they'll stop filling out people's leads and start talking to me, so that when I call them on my lunch break in 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, they'll actually pick up the phone. And then building out automated purchase and sales agreement, automated deal analyzer, automated this, automated that, whatever. And so that was the creation of REI Automated.
Did you have a background of knowing how to set up all this stuff? A computer background?
No.
Any type of background?
I'm
or something
so
that taught you?
technologically illiterate. It's not even funny. I can barely operate an email.
So the system that you're using, did you develop it? Did you white label it? How did you come up with that? And then more importantly, I think I want to maybe figure out is, what, did you just jump in and start playing with stuff, or how did you figure all that out?
Great question. So, I just bounced from CRM to CRM to CRM. Every major CRM from 2016 to 2019, I went through. We were doing 2 to 3 CRMs per year during that time. And, if you've ever migrated CRMs, you know what a humongous pain in the butt this is. And the learning curve is steep as you're navigating new technology. And so constantly putting myself through this was just super stressful. And it was as much of a blessing as it was a curse, because every single one I would go to, I'd be excited because it had this 1 or 2 features that I was really missing from the old one. But then I would move over here and it's like, well, frick, now I need this thing. Now I need this solution, or you're not allowing me to do this. And so at the end of the day, I hired a company to do a custom build out on Podio. And they did an all right job. It laid the foundation, it laid the groundwork. But then after that, my business partner at the time also former Marine.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
He is incredibly smart at building these things and building systems. And he's not a programmer or coder or have any technology or anything like that. Just like YouTube University, hopping on consultations with people to figure this, that, and the other thing. But yes, we did build it from scratch. Now it's built on Podio, but Podio really is just a skin of it. Like we have our own database, we have our own servers, so that we're not reliant on Podio's uptime and downtime, nor their servers in order to compute calculations or anything. We kick it out. We do everything in our own environment, our own servers, and our own database. And then we patch the information back in. So there's all the things that people say that they don't like about Podio. We've solved all of them. In ours is just incredibly automated compared to anything else that is out there.
Okay. So now you have this CRM. Where percentage-wise does your business lie as far as wholesaling, making that type of investing money versus the CRM type of
two totally different companies.
Okay. But
yes.
Are you focusing more on one now than the other? Or are you still just kind of operating on both on
streamline? Oh, gosh. Man, I told you I was going to give you straight up transparent answers, and I'm going to hold true to that. I flip-flop back and forth. And here's at the end of the day, no business is going to grow without a driving COO and a visionary CEO, right? And so when you're newer in these companies that are 2, 3, 4 years old, you really have to push. And so often I will find myself flipping back and forth, and I pretty consistently will spend 1 month growing one while the other remains stable. Yeah. And then I will the next month, now I focus on this one while this one remains stable. And I go back and forth, and I've been told by many people, Keith, you really shouldn't do this. You should focus on one thing. But truthfully, at the end of the day, my real estate investing company is I don't really have to touch it. It kind of runs on its own. There's just 4 people that do quite literally everything. And I don't like making the calls or dealing with any of that. And the real estate investing software and coaching and education is fun. It's new. It's exciting. So I get a fresh win when I'm working on this. And then over here, I'm just focusing on really refining systems and scaling and developing new technology that helps us.
Well, and what you said in your in your bio and what we talked about before, all-in-one solutions or without cold calling or what was it? Lowball
offers.
So let's talk about that, because nobody likes to cold call. I mean, who likes to pick up the phone and beat people up for 1,000 calls a day?
Right.
So how does your system allow someone to be able to not have to do those type of tasks?
Good question. So the first thing is that there's a lot of things actually that I would love to talk about. The first would be a mentality shift of like, I love it when people make an offer. Because I will come in and I will, without ever being disrespectful or demeaning or throwing shade or talking down about them, I will plant seeds of doubt of whether or not this person really knows their numbers. And I will call things into question that the seller, and ultimately it's the seller who's the one answering, like asking their own questions, and then I'll have them answer it. So it's like, the movie Inception, where you're planting the seed and they think it's their own idea. So that's really what I do. I love it when people give an offer, because then I will plant seeds of doubt in order to question the validity of whether or not that person will perform. And I do that without ever giving a number. My very first deal was the very last deal that I gave an offer on. And literally the last 9 years, every house that I've ever bought across the nation, I don't give a number. I will have the seller tell me what they need to walk away with. Not even, I don't care what their house is going to sell for, because that often includes a mortgage and the realtor fees and blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
How much do you need to walk away with? Like cash in hand as you're walking away from or check, whatever. As you're walking away from the closing table, how much do you need to walk away with? And then that's the number that I'll negotiate. This also sets me up for creative financing, entrance strategies as well.
Okay, and that was going to be another one of my questions. Are you now, or have you broadened out some of the extra strategies that you're doing? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we buy every normal way. You know, we buy it sub to, we buy it owner financing, a hybrid of both, cash. We will wholesale, retail, wrap, rent, novations, lease options, the whole shebang when it comes to exit strategy. So it's really like, well, what's going to serve the seller the most? Obviously, if it's not a win for them, then we're not going to go down that route. So we need to clearly identify what's a win for the seller. Okay, great. Now that we have this entrance strategy in mind, what exit strategies do I have in mind in order to squeeze out every last drop of equity in this and really make it so that we're serving the seller while at the same time maximizing our profits?
Yep, exactly. And the big thing, like we've talked about, is autopilot, right? How does your system set it on autopilot? Like what tasks, before I have your system, what tasks am I doing until I get your system? Then I don't have to do those anymore. Like what are the main automation pieces?
Literally everything is auto. Here's the statement that I will stand by. It used to be anything that can be automated is automated. And then I changed that to anything that can and should be automated is automated. And the reason why I say that, and the reason why I say that is because I use AI probably for 2 to 4 hours every single day. I'm very adept with using AI, and AI has come a long ways just in the last 4, 5, 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have all these callers, and I'm not here to judge, and I'm not trying to pass any judgment or tell you what to do or anything like this. Just for me, when I'm calling, the people that I target with my marketing is people who are going through a divorce, people who have recently inherited a house, people who are going through foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, tired landlords. They have some sort of health or safety issue. And if you just put yourself in their shoes, we've all experienced at least one of those things in our life or know somebody very close to us who has. That is so much pain that they are going through right there. And I understand that on a scalable level, having an AI caller is really, really wonderful for us as a business. However, I personally cannot stomach it on an ethical level. I believe that we are lowering our standards as a community, really, of real estate investors to have AI be doing this. That seller, in these certain situations, they want nothing more than to have somebody who will hear them, have somebody who will help them, have somebody who really has a genuine conversation. And I'm telling you, John, like
empathetic curiosity.
Yes. I recently let go our acquisition manager, and I'm hiring, by the way, if anybody is interested. But I sat in the last couple of weeks, been about 5-6 weeks now, and I'm having these conversations, and I have to tell you, the level, the feedback that I get from people, Keith, you have just brightened my day. You are just so fun to talk. I love talking with older people too.
Me too. Yeah.
I vibe with them, and genuinely, it's a lot of fun. And I kind of make that my passion project, if you will, just to make that person smile. Like they've just been dealt with such a tough hand of cards in that moment. And for me to be able to present a solution, articulate it clearly, give them light at the end of the tunnel, hope that there is an end here, soon, and that I'm the solution to that problem. And then just smile a couple times, crack a couple of jokes, I don't know, I wouldn't consider myself witty, but just have a little bit of charisma when you're on the phone. I really like that. And so going back to your question, anything that can and should be automated is automated. And so really there's 2 things that should not be automated. The first is going to be the phone calls. In my opinion, you shouldn't automate the phone calls. I don't care how good AI gets. It's not going to replicate, nor is it going to give you a purpose. You can make money, but if it's purposeless money, then what are you even doing this for?
Right.
Then the second thing is I feel I feel that it is irresponsible to have ARV determined by some proprietary formula. Just think about like Zestimate or profit streams, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so, one of who wrote 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Stephen Covey wrote the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one of those habits is begin with the end in mind. And for you and I, as a real estate investor, the end that we have in mind is what is the sales price that I'm going to have when I go and sell this house. We're going to reverse engineer from there. Well, if you screw up that one number, everything afterwards is also screwed. You're destined for failure.
Right.
And so I do not think that we have tons of systems around this. Do not get me wrong. We have SOPs and training videos and systems, and we have tools like our ARV finder that will make it so much faster, so much easier. Drop me anywhere. I swear to you, drop me anywhere in the nation. Within 10 minutes, I will give you an accurate ARV.
This is part of your CRM.
Yes, using our ARV finder. However, there will always be a manual double check, if you will, like quality control checkpoint, if you will, to ensure that ARV is accurately depicted before we move on through the deal analysis. So those are really the two biggest things that should.
Where do you find these leads? I mean, are they in your system as well? Like, are you pulling these type of divorce, probate, default stuff? Are you buying them?
Great question.
County scraping?
Great question. I don't want to allude that these are part of our software. For the first 4 years, I did nothing but outbound. So I did the text message and the ringless voicemail and cold calling, bandit signs, newspaper ads, TV,
everything.
Golly, yeah. And the last four and a half, actually 5 years, I've been really spoiled. Now I only have inbound leads coming in from PPC and PPL. Nice. That said, though, so that's just for me. I'm answering for me specifically. It used to be outbound. Now it's been inbound. But our clients do everything. We have some clients who run PPC, some clients who do social media, some people do direct mail, some people door knocking, some people driving for dollars.
Sure.
Whatever. As long as there is an API or a webhook for us to integrate it into the CRM, you are free to do anything. And if there isn't one already built, then we'll create a form for you, like for a cold caller, for example. Mm-hmm. If your software, we can't hook into it, then we'll just build that form. First name, last name, phone, email, subject, property address, done. Send it, and it comes into your CRM.
Nice. Anybody getting into this business new, what kind of advice would you give to them? If they're looking at CRMs, they're looking at all this other stuff. I mean, where do I start?
I am going to just be really controversial right now and say that if you're completely new, your ass doesn't need to be on a CRM. Your ass needs to be on a dialer. Call people. That is how you're going to do some
TTP.
Listen, I own a software company, and it is in my monetary beneficial interest to tell you, oh yes, listen to all this sexy stuff that our CRM does. It's absolutely amazing, right? I'm here to tell you, you can do plenty of deals without a CRM. And in the beginning, do not waste your time learning a new tech stack and all of this stuff. You need, my advice to you is invest in your education, invest in your systems early. I've seen a lot of newbies try to wing it. They get burnt out learning all this technology. They just get swamped with busy work. And I'm here to tell you, if you just have a basic lead gen system and a script to talk with sellers, which ours does have a script and it is dynamic and it is built into the software. But all you need, basic lead gen system, a script to talk to sellers, you will save yourself so much money, so many headaches, and you will actually get deals done. Just as Tom Kroll always says, put revenue in first position. If you can just keep, Gary Keller, the one thing, or Pareto's principle, the 80-20, like what is the one thing that I can do today that will make all of the things obsolete or unnecessary or something like that.
Well, and things that are money-making activities, right?
Yes.
Things that are going to move the needle forward, not sitting there and getting stuck, watching YouTube. I mean, you got to get there. You got to get on the phone. Brent Daniels, TTP. I mean, talk to people. That's how you learn this business.
Yeah.
What trends are you seeing in the business right now?
Too many people switching to AI.
Too many people relying on that automation, that AI powered automation.
Yeah, and just not listen. People ask me all the time, "Hey Keith, can you build this in?" And I love getting requests. I listen to our users, and genuinely, there's only a couple of week delay from when they pitch me an idea. Keith, it would be really nice. I'm going to make this request to do this, that, or the other thing. Great. I go back to the dev team. We, put out I forget what it's called, like a scrum board or something like this of how it's going to come out. Here's phase 1. Here's, preliminary testing is done here. Then here's phase 2. This is minimum viable product. And then here's the improvements that we plan on making in this order, phase 3. And so we'll do that. So I don't want to pretend like I don't listen to our clients. Like, it's largely built by our clients, and all of the improvements that we've made haven't been my ideas. It's been their ideas. However, the biggest theme, you asked me, trends. Keith, can you have AI do this? Keith, can you have AI do that? Keith. So here's the thing. Yes, we can have AI tell you the best entrance and the best exit, and even give you a justification for why. I've literally built this in. For example, I just built out our rental analyzer in December of 2024. And it looks at, what is the DSCR ratio? What is your cap rate? What is your cash flow? And it tells you deal or no deal. And it gives you a justification for why or why not, if it's not a deal, right? And this is wonderful. However, truth be told, this can become enabling, where you don't know a smoking deal if it slapped you in the mother freaking face because you're not in front of your computer with your AI telling you if it's a deal or not. I don't want to enable people like that. I want them to invest in their education and know. I look at
it like Waze. Waze, the guy, the app that.
Yeah.
And my wife sometimes gets lost when Waze isn't on. It's like, so you're relying on Waze to get you to where.
Yeah.
Don't just remember where you went. Yeah. So and that's true, and it takes away some of that personal touch, because AI might tell you it's not a bad deal, but what happens when you talk to the seller and you really find that pain?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. There has to be a skill set within you, like within your heart, your mind, whatever. It has to be coming from you. Otherwise, I see it's kind of laughable. These people who are like applying for a job and they're in the interview, and they'll turn the voice thing on when their interviewer asks them a question, and then they'll read the prompt. They'll read the answer of how to answer the question. It's like, okay, go do that in person, and you lose that ability. You can only do that because you're hiding behind the screen and you have your phone up in front of the computer.
Yeah.
This is disingenuous, and literally that quote unquote skill set goes away the moment you have a face-to-face, belly-to-belly interaction with somebody. You can't fake that.
No.
So embody the skill. Work on you.
Man, we can go on for days, dude. A ton of stuff to talk about. If anyone wants to get a hold of you or learn more about your CRM, wants to learn more about, because we didn't get a chance to touch on your coaching. I know you do some coaching and stuff, but if anybody wants to really find out and talk more about you, besides, I'll put all your bios or your links in the notes, but how do they reach out to you? What's the best way?
I would direct you to 2 places. The first is going to be my website. I just redid my demo video. It's 23 minutes long, shows you exactly what we do, how we do it, kind of pull back the curtain and show it to you. So our website is www.reiautomated.io/demo. That's going to show you a little bit about what we do behind the scenes and everything like that. And then you can always check out our YouTube or LinkedIn, and that's just my name, @Keith_Gillespie.
Yeah, and like I said, I got these on your bio, so we'll go ahead and put those on the notes. And, guys, I hope you get, take a minute to reach out to him, really understand, coming from the old school days of all that cold calling and all that stuff, and now seeing the flood of automation comes in. I mean, it's really taking over and making things a lot easier, as long as you have the right tools and the right equipment and the right guidance, right? So,
yes,
Keith, thank you very much, man. Yeah, you dropped a bunch of nuggets. Never know, we might get on do another one here.
I would love to.
Cool. Well, everyone, I hope you guys had a good time on this episode. Hope you learned a lot, got a lot of good nuggets, and we'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.